of money. He grew up in the Kano system. The only guy who used not to spend money giving people was the late Raila. But you know, Raila never used to do it directly, but there are people who are doing it on his behalf. You would have the candidates who are running on his ticket for the other seats from governor downwards. They are the ones now who will be the ones who have to dish out the cash. So he will ride on that. And he also had a way of managing the people. But the rest of the fellas are forced to spend cash so that much as you sell whatever message you are selling, you still have to oil the electorate. That's very unfortunate, but that is the state in which we are as a country.
What does it say about the people, though? Then I think this is for both of you, but we'll start with you, Robert. What does it say about the people if we have seen people come out in terms of what would be campaigns and the thought that was people want a better governance structure, people want better leaders, people want to see governance and leadership playing out in the way in which it ought to, but then have the opportunity, because we know that the power then to make that decision rests in the vote. But then we don't see people come, and we say that it's about money. What can you get? People are going to hang around polling stations for the rest of today to see what they can get. What does it say for the people?
Well, people do want change, and they would vote for that change. But unfortunately, the economy, unemployment, and people suffering gets them to think about the short-term goals. They do not think long-term. Because if you vote for the change you want, it will take some time. And here you're being offered a handout that can sustain you today. You're not sure of tomorrow. So unemployment plays a key factor in people accepting the handouts and people selling their votes. They're practically selling their votes. Therefore, the tough economic times are the reason why people opt to accept any handout instead of voting for the change that they do deserve.
Martin?
It's still the question of poverty, but it's not just poverty of physical wealth. It is also poverty of ideas. Because we've had situations where people have voted against moneyed candidates. But it takes a lot of effort for you to get the people to do that. We've seen in the 90s, there was a by-election in a place called Kilome in Makueni. And one of my former classmates, Daniel Mutinda, was running against, Mutinda Mutiso was running against John Harun Mwau.
Right.
Mwau did a lot of work. He went, he sang boreholes. He opened up roads which nobody had opened. He was using a satellite phone those days when the mobiles were not there. And he did a lot of work, put up even electricity using his own money. But when the voting came, the people still voted for Mutiso, who didn't have the kind of, who was not financially as endowed as Mwau. In the Kisauni by-election, when Karisa Maitha passed away, Joho ran the first time in the by-election. And he spent quite some serious money.
Yeah.
But there was a guy called Anania Mwaboza. He was a young lawyer in Mombasa. He triumphed against Joho, who was on the ODM ticket and who had a lot of money.
Who had the financial might.
Yeah, he had very serious financial might from the brother. So we've had